All right, good morning, traders. Today is March 17th, 2025. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Thank you so much for seeing the value in my content. If you have any questions, you can always reach me. My email address is john@byobtrading.com. All right? Again, thank you for the kind comments and thank you for the subscriptions. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, so my SPY pivot this morning is 560. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. All of the Fab 5 are still in daily downtrends. All of the Fab 5 made higher highs and higher lows. I think most of them closed inside bearish traps under their 17 EMAs. SPY closed with a 2-hour uptrend and a 10-minute uptrend. Gold and silver, both in daily uptrends. Gold made another new all-time high. Silver made a higher low and a higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. USO in a daily downtrend made an inside day closing over a bearish trap under the 17 EMA. UNG made an equal low yesterday and a lower high closing under a bearish trap under the rising 17 EMA. That needed to cool off anyways. US dollar index still in a downtrend. Love it. Closed near the 103.56 area. SPY max pain for today for SPY options that expire at 4:15 is 561. I think we're already around there. And a put to call ratio of 1 put to each call. Not much motivation there for a put squeeze. I do see possible trend changes beginning, all right, on the SPY. Let's go take a look at some charts this morning. Start off with, oh, by the way, I like NVIDIA breaking the downtrend right here. Okay, I like NVIDIA. And I like it up to this. See this valley between the peaks? So I like it up to, right up to there, 127. Probably come up here and challenge this downtrend line. Sometime this week. I think sometime this week we get up there. We're not far from it in the pre-market. I wouldn't doubt it if we nail it today. Okay, so I like NVIDIA. Let's go take a look at SPY. I like the fact that it broke the downtrend. All right, so you got SPY, okay? So we made a touch of the 550 area. All right, so we'll see what happens. Friday. Okay, let's look at Friday's price action. Failed to make a lower low on the 10-minute chart. From there, we had a gap up on Friday. So Thursday, failed to make a higher low, and we had a gap and run on Friday, and then we held the higher ground. That is a bullish environment. Anytime I see price action, all right, consolidating, all right, let's just pan this out, over prior consolidation, that is a bullish environment. All right, anytime I see bullish gaps not getting filled, that is a bullish environment. All right, anytime I see price action up over, let's trash this out and take a look at this one right here. Okay, let's put in an all-time low right here. Up over the low, anchored VWAP there. So this is the 550 low. All right, and price action is running up and away from the 550 low anchored VWAP. Okay, that is a bullish environment. Possible pullbacks today would be a spike of this, all of this 550 low anchored VWAP, okay? And it's all the way down there about 558, and they could take it a little bit lower, kind of challenge the open gap. All right, so there's a possibility for a challenge of the open gap sometime today or tomorrow. We'll see what happens, all right? Already starting to get a little pullback here. We might come all the way into this area right here. All right, so there's SPY. On the 10-minute chart, okay, we've got the 3 EMA. That's the thin yellow line. Let's move this over. And let's go to this one right here. Hit it up on the 10. All right, so you can see the thin yellow line and the price action candle up over the white line. That's a 10-minute uptrend. Actually, a nice bull flag right through there. 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. 2-hour chart. Okay, again, we've got the yellow line up over the white one. 2-hour uptrend coming over the close, into the close on Friday. Okay, so now we've got another downtrend line that looks like it could be in jeopardy. Let's take a look at this one. And you can see we've got a downtrend line right there that's being busted up. Yes, on Friday. So you got a downtrend line there. Like that, let's see if we can find our way back to the all-time high anchored VWAP, which currently resides about 578. I would expect them to reach that area when it gets to around 575. We'll see what happens. So there's the 2-hour chart. 2-hour in a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close on Friday. On the daily chart, okay, we're still in a downtrend. Okay, but I do expect a visit of either this valley between the two peaks or this. Really, this one would be my target. This one, which is about 575 right there. We got a valley that resides between two peaks. I think we're probably coming back to this area right here, 575.45, just to test it. You can see here's our all-time high anchored VWAP kind of floating in there right now this week. So maybe a test of this area sometime this week. We'll see. All right. So Friday's candle, again, higher low, higher high, closing in the bearish trap. Okay, see the space between the 3 EMA, that's the yellow line, and the white EMA. So we're closing inside the trap, under the falling 17, that's the red dots right here. Okay, we're just neutral. Why? Because we go up and we gave it up. So we're just in neutral ground right now. All right, there's SPY. All right. Look like it's rearing its head up to make a visit to this area. We'll see. Had nice inflation numbers last week on producer price inflation, the PPI, and the CPI. We'll see what happens. All right. We'll watch. Things are looking pretty good so far. Okay, so there's SPY on the daily chart. Let's take a look at, what do we want to look at next? Let's take a look at the weekly chart. All right, so you can see here's the weekly chart. Here's a low, and we made a lower low. So the weekly's also in a downtrend as well as the daily. Let's take a look at the monthly chart. Okay, so we don't have any breaks underneath the 17 until we get to right here. Okay, so 410.88. Okay, so we won't break the monthly chart until we make a lower low right here, or perhaps we produce a higher low and then take out the higher low. That's a possibility. Okay, but still got to get underneath the 17 in order to produce that higher low. We'll see what happens. So there's SPY on the monthly chart. Okay, now there's some 2 or 3 components that go into moving the SPY. Okay, one of them is T2123. Okay, no signs of bullish price action happening there yet. Okay, so we're still bullish. All right, nothing happening there. T2122, little bit different. We're finding ourselves back here at the midpoint, still on the seller's side of the price action. Okay, breaking the downtrend line that started on March 3rd. Okay, so that's a nice look. All right, and breaking this downtrend line, that's a nice look. So getting started here. So I would expect maybe price to kind of pull back to the sell zone, make a higher low. All right, and then kind of maybe flounder around there, see what happens, and then eventually make its way back up to the midpoint. Okay, so T2122 kind of indicating that we could be breaking trend here. We'll see what happens. T2123, no sign of making higher highs or filling bearish gaps yet. Okay, the big one is going to be the FNGU. All right, now this one carries about 10 of the most heavily weighted stocks in the SPY and the QQQ. All right, so this is really the one to watch. This is the leash that jerks the dog. All right, so the indexes would be the dogs, and this is the leash. You can see right now on the 15-minute chart, we put in a higher low and a higher high, and we put in another higher low. Not much of a higher low, but we got one. And price action is up here trying to produce that higher high. All right, so we'll see what happens here. FNGU, we're going to need this one to break trend and be bullish in order for SPY and QQQ to have any sign of a bullish rally or a bullish retracement back to that valley. Okay, we're going to need this. Right now, I kind of like what I see. Bull flag over here. Bullish gap down here, not getting filled. All right. Bearish gap getting filled over here. I really like what I see right now. Higher low. I think we dig out a higher high sometime today. We'll see what happens. So there's FNGA on the 15-minute. Let's go back to the SPY. All right. And let's take a look at it on the daily chart. Okay, you can see all we've done is engulf what, 1, 2 candles. All right, so nothing really fantastic yet. All right, so but we're not moving down, so that's a good sign. It doesn't mean we're done moving down. We could continue right down to 540. We'll see what happens. This is SPY on the daily chart. All right, let's go take a look at the game plan this morning, and take a look at that on the 5-minute chart. Okay, so for the game plan, let's pull this in just a little bit. Okay, I like 4 days till expiration Friday options and 11 days till expiration Friday options. I got a small account that I'm working with, so I like them $2 to $5 out of the money. If you want the very best performing option, it's always going to be the 0 days till expiration. In the money option. All right, I'd rather take on a little less risk and give up some performance by taking $2 to $5 out of the money. Okay, SPY green erases red is price entry over 562.80. That's the first price entry. If we get a candle up over 562.80, that's the first bullish entry. SPY pivot 560. Bearish entry, price underneath 556.10. All right, so we'll see where we go with that. Underneath 556.10, that would be my bearish entry for a gap fill down here. So there's SPY on the 5-minute chart. Let's go take a look at QQQ. Same things going on over here. I like Friday options, the 4 DTE and the 11 DTE, and I like $2 to $5 out of the money. All right, for a small account, I think you give up a little performance, but you also give up some risk too. All right, you don't have as much risk when you're going $2 to $5 out of the money. All right, spot QQQ pivot 477.10. The bearish side, all right, that would be looking for the gap fill, just like the SPY. Underneath 473.90, that would be my bearish entry. All right, and we could bounce from there. All right, so watch this carefully. All right, on the bullish side, we come up over the base of the consolidation from yesterday, just like SPY, over 478.80. That would be our bullish entry up there. We'll see what happens. There's QQQ on the 5-minute. Let's go take a look at QQQ on the daily. All right, so here we have QQQ on the daily. Higher low, higher high, closing in the trap. You can see the space. Under the falling 17, that's the red dots. Under the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, under the midpoint. All right, so down here, moving up, give it up and more. That's bearish down there. There's QQQ. Let's take a look at IWM. All right, IWM, Same candle, higher low, higher high, closing in the trap under, see the red dots, the 17, underneath, all-time high anchored VWAP, underneath, uptrend line, underneath, midpoint, down here in quadrant 1, that's bearish. All right, unless they can start breaking trends, making new highs. So far, IWM bearish. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow, same candle, everybody got the same one. Higher low, higher high, closing in the trap under the falling 17. That's the red dots. Okay. Underneath the uptrend line. All right. Underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the pink line. All right. Underneath the midpoint. That's the green dash. All right. Okay. So moving up and giving it up. That's just neutral. Okay. It's not in the lower third. All right, so it's just neutral. There's Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at our last one. FNGA. All right, FNGA. Again, everybody got the same candle, higher low, higher high, closing in the trap under the falling 17. That's the red dots. Okay, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the pink line underneath the uptrend line. That's the green diagonal line underneath the midpoint. That's the green dashes through here. Okay, no longer in the lower third. This is just neutral. Okay, just neutral there for FNGA. Looking like possible trend change happening on FNGA. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it right here. No, I had another one that I was looking at, and I can't find it. All right. Anyways. FNGA, all right, so price action right through there. All right, let's go take a look at our technicals. We looked at them briefly earlier. You can see for Friday, we came out of the oversold zone, all right, came into the seller's chop zone, made a higher low in the sell zone, came back into, spend the rest of the day in the seller's chop zone, and at the end of the day, kind of challenged that midpoint area. That's T2122. So spending the rest of the day in the seller's chop zone. Hey, it beats being in the oversold zone. It beats being in the sell zone. And you can see price action here breaking the downtrend line. All right. T2123. Selling from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. Had one green candle bar at the end of the day. Again, we're not making any higher highs. We're not filling any bearish gaps. We're still caught underneath a falling 200 SMA. We're still caught underneath two prior all-time highs. Okay, nothing bullish happening yet in T2123. Actually, you got a nice bear flag. All right, so we could be coming all the way down. T2123 3-bar chart. Again, not filling any bearish gaps. 3 more red candle bars caught underneath these 2 green lines. Prior all-time highs. Caught underneath fading 200 SMA. Okay, nothing bullish happening here yet. T2123, FNGA. All right, a little bit different on FNGA. Again, putting in higher lows and a higher high and another higher low. Squeaked out a higher low. Okay, possible higher high, imminent today. We'll see what happens. Again, coming up over this falling 200 SMA. It'd be nice to get on the other side of this and consolidate. That would be bullish. All right. Anytime I see consolidation over prior consolidation, that is a bullish environment. Like to see it get up over the 200 and consolidate. That would be a nice bullish environment for FNGA. And we're going to need that in order to get SPY going back to that valley between the two peaks. There's FNGA. Okay, you can see still caught underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP line. That's the pink line. Still caught underneath the uptrend line. There's FNGA. Okay, so that's the 15 minutes. Take a look at a few sectors. First one we'll look at, XLE. Here's our energy. We got a higher low and a higher high. Closing over a bullish trap, over the falling 17, but underneath. Okay, underneath downtrend line 1, downtrend line 2, and the pink line, the all-time high anchored VWAP, closing over the midpoint. All right, a little bit of bullishness showing up here. Finally finding ourselves back over there. Again, we move up and we gave it up. We move down and we also gave that up. So we're just neutral right through here. See that? You go up, you give it up, that's neutral. You go down, you give it up, that's neutral. Okay, so XLE, just neutral. Still caught underneath downtrend lines. Okay, let's take a look at UNG, high flyer here. Up here in quadrant 4, that's bullish. Price action, make sure I get the right candle. That's this one. Equal low, lower high, closing underneath a bearish trap, underneath the 17. In the upper quadrant 4, that's bullish up there, over this 12-month high anchored VWAP right there. Okay, so that's bullish. Big high flyer going on there. It really needs to cool off for about a month. UNG. Let's take a look at USO. All right, USO. All right, this is a 3-year high anchored VWAP, this pink line right here. All right, so let's kind of expand this just a little bit so we can get a good peek at it. All right, I got to open it way up. All right, so we got a, looks like an inside day. High there, 72.44. High there, 72.43. So we got an inside day. That's a lower high just by a penny, and a higher low closing over a bearish trap or inside a bearish trap right there. But underneath the uptrend line, underneath the falling 17, underneath the buy box, and underneath the 3-year high anchored VWAP right there. Okay, so down here in quadrant 2, all right, in the lower third, that's still bearish. All right, again, till we start making higher highs, still not making any higher highs. See that high right there? Not a higher high. Okay, got a higher low, and guess what? Still no higher high yet. Okay, got another higher low, and maybe we get a higher high sometime today. We'll see what happens. That's USO. All right, let's take a look at precious metals, GLD. All right, new all-time high. I mean, is there anything else left to say? It's making new all-time highs. All right, it's bullish as whatever. You know what I'm saying? All right, it's making new all-time highs. It's bullish. It's in quadrant 4. It's actually expanding the quad lines now. Let's take a look at SLV. Okay, I like SLV. Silver price action. Higher low, higher high, closing over the trap. Over this rising 17. That's the green dots. Over this is the 12-year high anchored VWAP, that pink line. Over the 12-year high anchored VWAP. All right, so again, closing up over that 12-year high anchored VWAP, holding it for 4 or 5 days. You're usually rewarded with a nice breakout. Hence, we got the breakout. All right, so there's SLV on the daily chart. Again, up over that 12-year high anchored VWAP, up over the midpoint, up here in quadrant 4. Definitely bullish up there in quadrant 4. Okay, all-time high is about 48. Okay, I can really foresee price action challenging the recent high made about 6 months ago. I can foresee that probably or very likely to happen. I can actually kind of bet that there's probably going to be a higher high. We'll see if we're going to get a new 12-year high. But I got to say, with this higher low, we are setting up to make a higher high here. Again, we've got a higher low here and an inverse head and shoulders. Probably going to make a higher high up here on SLV. All right, so there's silver on the daily chart. Let's take a look at a few sectors, and then we'll go visit the economic package. As far as economics go, the CPI and the PPI came in really nice. Kind of inflation is kind of cooling its heels, and we like that. Okay, so here's SMH. Okay, nice candle, by the way. Okay, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish cross under a falling 17. That's a red dots. Okay, not quite in the lower third. All right, so it's neutral. Again, you move down, you give it up, that's neutral. You move up, you give it up, that's neutral. So just in the neutral zone for SMH. Again, underneath this all-time high anchored VWAP, underneath the midpoint line, that's the dash green line right up there. Okay, so, but still caught underneath that falling 17. That's the red dots. Okay, got to break through there. Looking like SMH is breaking a downtrend here. All right, either that or they're ready to set it out a little bit wider. We'll see what happens. They got to recover about 2/3 of this in order to really qualify as breaking the downtrend, because we could still be underneath this all-time high anchored VWAP at the pink line. Like to see us get up over that and hold for 4 days. SMH. Let's take a look at XLK technology. Again, closely related to SMH. Higher low, higher high, closing, I'm going to call it over a bearish trap, under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, under the uptrend line, under the midpoint. Again, moving down, giving it up, that's neutral. Moving up, giving it up, that's neutral. So still just neutral here in XLK. Let's take a look at XLF. All right, XLF. Made a new all-time high about 2 weeks ago, right here. That's a new all-time high. Crazy. Big sell-off that we had. And then XLF made a new all-time high about 10 days ago. Okay. Higher low, higher high, closing in the bearish trap, under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Not in the upper third, so just neutral, okay? Again, you move up, you give it up. All right, that's just neutral. All right, they were up there in a nice bull flag, and you were rewarded with a new all-time high. Not much of one. Okay, hence we come back and visit the low that we originated this whole move from. Challenge that. So here we are challenging this low that produced this all-time high. Okay, so we're back here challenging that. In the last 4 days. So there's XLF. Let's take a look at IYT. Transports, not doing us any favors. Looking like, let me see what we got. 64, 69, 64, 71. So they just squeaked that out. Higher low, higher high. Closing in a bearish trap. Under the falling 17. Under the all-time high anchored VWAP, that's the pink line, under the uptrend line, under the midpoint, okay, down here in the lower third, that's bearish. All right, if they can move back up here to the midpoint, that would be neutral. Again, you go up and you give it up, that's neutral. If you go down and give it up, that's neutral. So there's IYT. All right, transports are in bearish territory. Okay, down here in the lower third. Let's take a look at the economic package. And what do we got here? Let's take a look at, let's go for Max Payne first, because that's one of my favorites to trade the SPY. SPY Max Payne for this morning, it could change. 561, all right, and a put to call ratio, and those are the puts and calls that expire today at 4:15 of about 1 put for each call. All right, so we'll see what happens. All right, on the dollar. On the dollar, we had price action closed about 103.54. I don't know if I got disconnected there from the people in the room, but I know the video is still rolling. All right, so it'll be there for anybody in the room that lost connection. Okay, so the dollar still in a downtrend, making lower highs and lower lows, and a lower high and a lower low. Price action breaking the minor support, almost breaking, looking like breaking the major support. Like to break this low right here. They spiked it but couldn't close down there. We'll see what happens. So, but price closed Friday or Sunday about 103.59 area. All right, let's take a look at the earnings calendar, and then we'll visit the economics. Today's Monday the 17th. Nothing Got some familiar names, all right, but nothing that's going to move the markets. Tuesday, again, some more familiar names, all right, but nothing that's going to move the markets. Wednesday, this is kind of wrapping up earnings season. This is what it looks like. Some familiar names, Five Below. You know who you are, all right? Sport Trader, okay? Williams Sonova, General Mills, Prudential, okay? Familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets. Thursday, we got Accenture. They're going to report Thursday morning, 198 billion. PDD Holdings, 163 billion. They report Thursday morning. Nike, 107 billion. Report Thursday night. Micron Technology, 105 billion. They're tech, so they're going to report in the evening. Got FedEx, Lennar, two Lennars, Darden Restaurants. Some familiar names here, but probably not going to move the markets like Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Google, Meta. All right, those are the ones that are NVIDIA, Broadcom. Those are the ones that are really going to move the markets. Okay, they got such big cap and they're such big heavyweights within the indexes. They're going to move the markets. I don't see any of these having the capability of moving the markets, although they could move the sectors. Okay, so keep an eye on them for sector movement. On Friday, all right, again, familiar names, all right, Soho House and Company, all right, NEO, Carnival Corporation, all right. Again, some familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets. Monday, KB Homes, okay, Oklo, Intuitive Machines. No, that's not somebody I know. Again, familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets, all right? So really light week as far as earnings go. Let's see what we got for what's on deck this earnings calendar. Monday looks wide open, nothing happening Monday. Tuesday, NFIB, Small Business Optimism Index at 6 in the morning. Jolts come out at 10, and nothing else happening on Tuesday. Wednesday, CPI comes out again, as if we didn't get enough of it. Am I on the right week? No, I'm not. All right, back to the calendar. Monday, that's today. Retail sales comes out at 8:30. Empire State Manufacturing Index 8:30. Business inventory is at 10. Housing Market Index at 10. Okay, so got some data coming out there for retail at 8:30. That'll be interesting. Tuesday, we got housing starts and permits, 8:30. I think those are going to dip a little bit. Import-export prices, 8:30. Industrial production, 9:15, and a light day after that. Wednesday, we got mortgage applications at 7. Atlanta Fed business inflation expectations at 10. Petroleum report at 10:30. An FOMC announcement. That's going to be the main event. FOMC announcement at 2 p.m. and a little press release at 2:30. Okay, I'm going to say right now, all right, CPI came in really in line or under, so they're probably just going to say they're going to be hawkish. All right, they're going to continue to watch it. More than likely, that's what's going to happen. All right, jobless claims 8:30 on Thursday. Philly Fed manufacturing 8:30. Existing home sales at 10. Leading indicators at 10. Gas report at 10:30. All right, and Friday's always a light day. All right, quadruple witching, and we've got a rig count at 1 o'clock. All right, so right now in my ES futures, I'll just share with you what I got going on. All right, I bought the dip. All right, and you can see I'm rewarded from buying the dip. All right, so we're back up at the highs. I'm going to take some off. All right. I don't need to have that much exposure. All right. That's fine for me. All right. So you can see I just took off nice chunk. All right. Again, higher low. So I'm looking for the market to make a higher high or challenge that high. Okay, so I'm looking for the market to come up there. Nice igniting bar. May go way past this. We'll see what happens. All right, we'll pull back here. I'll buy one. I'll buy one. I'll buy one. I'll buy one right on top of minor support right here. All right, I'll buy one. And I'll buy one. Okay. See, we're up here where we sold before, so I'm selling right where price happened before. All right, on the pullback, gonna reload a little bit. Okay, and I'm looking for price to make a higher high. All right, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so nice move there. Made $4,000. I'm buying the dip. Right there. Thanks, Alan. Thanks for sharing. All right. I'm bullish. I'm bullish till we start making lower lows. All right. I'm still bullish on ES and QQQ. All right. So that's where we are. All right. You can see here it is. Again, I'm going to tell you, this is a popular place for price to pull back. See this big volume node? Notice they were up here at the highs. And where did they pull back? To the big volume node right here. And also the anchored VWAP. Well, the VWAP line right there. Pulled back to the big volume node and bounced out of there. Okay? So I'm long ES, long NQ. All right? Having a great day. See? About $3,000. I'll take that. All right, that's it for me, all right, this morning. Okay, I'll see you guys in about 35 minutes. All right? 35 minutes. I'll see you guys, and we'll kick off the markets. Again, we need FNGA making higher lows and higher highs on the smaller time frame. And we need that to transition into a larger time frame, okay? That's what we need. All right, if we're going to see a pullback to the valley between the two peaks and the all-time high anchored VWAP, all right, this is the valley between the two peaks and the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the teal line right here. You can barely see it. All right, we're going to need FNGA producing a higher time frame, all right? Uptrend on a higher time frame. All right, and it's very well they could keep the downtrend going and put a big spike candle up there, tag it, and come all the way back down. That would be ugly, but they could do that. You know, hit the valley between the two peaks and this at the same time, and then come all the way back down. All right, so there's the daily chart on SPY. All right, so I'll see you guys in about 30 minutes. Thank you, everybody out there in Cyberland. Thank you for seeing the value in my content. All right, I'll see you guys a little bit later.